So I asked her, I said, have you used your conditions as a way for your client to view the property? Here's a scenario. We have a property for sale in downtown Kitchener. We are reviewing offers on a particular day. There are two offers that come in on the offer date. One is hypothetically $750,000 and the other is $740,000. My clients, they reviewed both offers. Both of the offers were somewhat similar in terms of closing date, conditions. Really, it came down to dollars. So naturally, they were leaning towards the $750,000 offer. I looked at the offer. I didn't recognize the agent's name from either a previous transaction, or I didn't recognize the agent's name from even viewing the property, because when an agent wants to show a property, the listing agent typically gets a notification when is the showing, who is the agent, and the time of the showing. I didn't recognize this particular agent's name, so I wasn't sure. Maybe a partner or somebody viewed it on their behalf. Maybe the agent was sick and maybe somebody stepped in their place. So I called the agent and I said, hey, when did you show the property? And she said to me, I haven't seen the property. She said, my client hasn't seen the property. And I said to her, I said, but you're making an offer. Can you give me some context here? She said, yes, my client's out of town and unfortunately he can't make it down and see the property, but he does want to see it at some point. So I asked her, I said, have you used your conditions as a way for your client to view the property? And she said, yes. He's an investor, doesn't really care about the emotional side of things, looking at it purely as an investment. The location works from what we're seeing online, the pictures, it all works for us. But then we had the other offer that was slightly less, but the agent had viewed the property 2 times, had a bunch of questions that went back and forth prior to the offer. And so I spoke to my clients and I said, essentially, we have one legitimate offer. Well, we have 2 legitimate offers, but one of them is a more sincere offer. This is a client that has viewed the property with their agent. They've asked a bunch of questions. They know what they're getting. They know what they're walking into. Whereas this person, it's almost speculative. They're hoping that things are the way that they want them to be, and they're using the conditions to walk through the property and essentially call it a viewing, or essentially act as a viewing during the conditional period. I spoke to my clients. I gave them my thoughts, my concerns. We were all in agreement that, it's a little bit too much of a risk. The dollars aren't quite dramatic enough for us to lose out on a sincere buyer versus somebody that just wants to use it as a viewing, irrespective of dollars. So we went back and forth, negotiated a little bit with the lesser offer, brought it up, not quite as high as the higher offer, but at least we had a buyer that has seen the property, has qualified the property, likes the property, loves the property, and has asked a number of different questions and, has put in traditional conditions. That is the offer that we went with. So my note to anybody who's an agent or anybody that has their home on the market, do yourself a favor, make sure that anybody who's submitting an offer on your property has already seen the property. They're not doing this virtually, and they're not just using conditions as a way to view the property and maybe tie it up and take it off the market. We could easily have lost a great offer for running the risk of potentially, hypothetically, a better offer, but a slimmer chance of that offer coming together. Because all that buyer would have to do is come through the property and say, you know what, I don't like it. Something about it, I don't like it. And they back out. And they have every right to back out. They have their conditions. But then we may have lost a sincere buyer. So that's my advice. If you got your home on the market, make sure the buyer knows what they're buying. Make sure the agent has come through the property. And I think it's a very underrated question and probably underthought about question that agents perhaps should be asking their clients. Hope that helps.